I was in foster care for about 12 years of my life. I lived in 12 different placements. Then I got sent to the children's home. That makes 13, and this is my 14th placement.
I was about 7 or 8 when I was in foster care, and my mom wanted to get me back, so she got me back, and I went back into foster care, and she didn't want me anymore.
I have to say 11, about 11 years old. Then that's when I got an HRS in Florida, and I've been in it ever since then.
In about 9 years, I was in about 13 or 14 different homes, different races, different styles.
I entered foster care when I was a baby, of only like a couple months old. I went to over 14 different placements.
I guess I was 7 years old when I was taken away from my family. Because I was taken away from my family, it revolved around to child abuse, physically, sexually, to drugs.
When we started going from shelter to like a home, to another home, place to place, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to go back to my family.
I was taken off my mom at 11 months due to a drunk driving situation. It's been a hectic ride, I'll tell you that much.
I got in foster care when I was in either 13, 14 years old, based on child neglect.
I probably went to about 18 different schools growing up, from high schools to middle schools, and so yeah, I never stayed anywhere, and that was really, really hard.
We changed homes. We were in 2 shelters, and then I guess when I was 9, we were placed for adoption.
I didn't request it. I specifically said I did not want to be adopted.
I thought about the thing of adoption was that it was new and weird, and I didn't like it that much.
No, adoption, I never really heard much about adoption when I was in foster care.
And I actually gave up on that hope a long time before I even met my father.
No, at times I didn't want to be adopted.
Because I wasn't the one who wanted to be adopted.
I would say, like, they're not my family and I don't want to get adopted.
I was afraid that I would not get to see my brothers as often, because whenever I was in a foster home, whenever I got punished, I wouldn't get to go see my brothers, and that was one of my fears, was not being able to see them and not being able to see my real family.
It's like I made my mind like, oh, I don't want to be adopted anymore.
At first, I didn't really know if I really wanted to, but then I finally realized that it would be good.
When I wanted to be adopted, but then I was scared of being adopted and having my goals of being adopted shattered, or my dreams. So I'm like, my scapegoat was I don't want to be adopted.
They came up with this adoption thing. At first, I was like, nah. Nah, I ain't doing this. So this can't, nah. I ain't ready for that. But then I sat back and thought, I was just watching it. And just like my life changed real big in like 2 weeks. It's like in 2 weeks my life changed. After I heard about it, I was like, I've been waiting for this all my life. And not for it to come at me just to let this pass. A lot of kids wish they could do this, wish they could be in my shoes. So I'm like, just to let this pass, I was like, nah, I can't do that.
And I thought if I could find the right family and the right person for me, then it'll be good, because the right people will always make your life happier.
If it doesn't work out with my family, I'm considering to get adopted by choosing one of the families that called up for me.
My caseworkers came and said that they think they found a match, and so me and my mom started talking on the phone.
Yes, they gave me a photo album of the family, and they started just talking about the family members and like who's who and where they live, and I was like, all right, that's cool.
I remember my mom walking into the door, then I went past to see what she looked like, and then I went and got one of my foster sisters to come upstairs with me because I was nervous. And then I met her, and then It just felt right.
It was a quick little meeting, little thing that we met, and so I just said hi to them. I learned who they were, and they were thinking about adopting. And
a lot of families saw me, and I don't like any of them. I just didn't feel comfortable with them.
They find a home that's good for you. They do all these interviews and things to see which one I would fit in the most. And they said they had found a home for me. And I was so excited because I was actually going to be in a home that actually loved me.
I didn't want to go at first, but then my staff were urging me to go because they said I might find a family there. And so I went, and then Mr. Larry introduced me to Ron. And we started talking for a little bit. We had a lot of stuff in common.
I don't know, I just liked it. So I didn't want to leave.
They asked me to come outside with them. We stepped outside and we introduced ourselves, and her daughter was constantly talking about, oh, you remind me of my daughter, you just look just like her. Then she started showing me her pictures and everything.
Although, I was very nervous, afraid, because I didn't trust adults. The only person I trusted was myself.
I was independent and I didn't need anybody, and now all of a sudden, I need you guys. That's the exact same way I feel about my mom. And actually, when I started to feel that way, I was terrified. I was really, really terrified.
Put your fears away.
At first, I was afraid that I was going to be sent back in the foster home because I didn't believe in it. I didn't believe it felt right to be out of foster care. And then, now, I'm very, this is where I belong, so I know I'm not going anywhere.
I got somebody now. I have someone that says, I love you, and I can say I love you back, and it's real.
I just say to hang in, because you can still keep contact with your biological family if you really wanted to.
What kind of rules am I going to have to abide? What kind of chores am I going to have to do? You're going to be in a family setting, so don't expect to just sit there and do nothing. You need to ask real life questions.
Once they meet the family and they see how nice they are and what the rules are, and
if you get a family, you just can do a lot more great things than you could in any children's home or orphanage.
I was a total pain in the ass, and Mom and Dad didn't go anywhere.
It gives you hope after you turn 18, after everything's said and done, after you went through everything, and knowing that they're still there.
Oh, I thought she was going to say something.
You need to trust each other. You need to respect each other.
I get to do more stuff. And my adoption parent is paying attention to me more than my foster family.
And just be there to care for me when I need them.
They could help you go on to college and stuff, help you go on further in life. And it's always going to be somebody there where you could go home, talk to, tell your problems to.
Anything could have happened, but I knew if I had someone there, that would just love me.
I think my dad's cool.
It took a lot of time, to find the right home, but you just gotta try to be patient. As much as you hate the system and you hate being in group homes or foster care homes, you just hate it. I think you just gotta have time. And the program that I was in was just perfect for me because they focus you as an individual and not just a bunch of kids. And they really do try to help find a family for you, and it takes time, and it might not they may not find it the first couple of families, but you'll eventually find one. You shouldn't just be free.
It's man, I never met a person like him. He's one in a million.
I was gonna give up, but I prayed, and I prayed that someone would actually want to adopt me. So you might not want to give up because there's families out there that are looking for children because maybe they can't have children or they just want to adopt kids because they like kids.
It may be a while, but soon or someday that someone will come along and that they'll find you and that you'll have a loving home one day.
If you can find the right person for you, someone who would take care of you and someone who will love you and always help you out when you need help, then I think you should jump at the chance.
Talk to him about anything. I don't got nothing to hide from him.
I know I worked out my problems with my adoption mom. And I turned out good.
I see myself with my new boyfriend and my mom flipping out of my boyfriend and
Put your fears away.